The post-apocalypse gets a bad rap in the video game industry. Nowadays, it's treated like the World War II video games were back in the early 2000s. Regarded as cliché, overdone, and tired, people are looking past the post-apocalypse now, looking for something more exciting, something new. But I would argue we haven't even scratched the surface. It's easy to look at the post-apocalypse and say, yeah, of course, we've done it over and over again. Look at the Fallout games and all the zombie games that we've gotten. They all truly do fall under the post-apocalypse genre. But those are but small slivers of what the post-apocalypse can offer. Sure, we've seen plenty of post-nuclear apocalypses or Walking Dead type post-apocalypse. But only recently have we seen developers try and take a crack at it from a different angle. Horizon Zero Dawn is an excellent example. It is truly set in a post-apocalyptic world, but humanity is still around. They've resorted to more primitive technology mixed with the technology of those who came before. Where in something like Fallout, the world is almost completely dead and given way to mutants, monsters, and all kinds of nasty things. In something like Horizon, nature still exists and flourishes. The beasts are not truly beasts as much as they are robots controlled by a free AI. And humanity is not nearly at the brink of collapse like it is in a few other games. It's these new takes that give me hope that the post-apocalypse has so much more to offer. And that brings me to today's game, Caves of Qud. I could try and sit here and explain to you what this game truly is, but it would take me too long, an entire episode's worth of monologuing. But Caves of Qud takes place in a world long past its expiration date, where those who are left alive live in a world that is a skeleton of its former self. A retro future post-apocalypse, where robots and AI wander a lush green world, where an entire city is looked at as chrome caverns, where whatever ended up happening in the past shaped those who live today. There are two kinds of creatures that you could play in Caves of Qud, two sides of a coin. On one, you have mutants, those whose bodies adapt as necessary. Extra limbs, powers, night vision, and inhuman strength are all possible because you are mutated. Whatever happened in the past in this world has caused many a creature to mutate. And on the other, those who see mutations as abhorrent sins, the true kin, where they believe the true path to purification and ascendancy lies in technology, where cybernetic implants are the way of progression, that the body that you inhabit is imperfect, but they have the means to make it. It's both types of creatures on the opposite sides of this coin that drive those who live in the Caves of Qud. Before all of this went down, and before the world died, the way it was ruled was unique. 7 sultans around the globe ruled in their own respective territories, each sultan bearing a power unique to them, and their entire lives unique to your playthrough. Caves of Qud, beyond being an interesting retro future post-apocalypse, is also something of a true roguelike. It's why the visuals are so simple, but it's why the mechanics and the depth of this game are so deep. Each sultan is generated at the start of all of your games. The way they were born, lived, and died unique, and the items that they crafted for themselves, their weapons and their gear, also unique. And the histories of these sultans, forgotten to time, left up to you, the player, to discover. So, let's follow a man by the name of Havvik, a Praetorian guard of the true kin, who sees the mutants as they are. Monsters to be cleansed, wounds left over from a world long gone. And let's follow him on his journey to discover the history of these sultans and discover exactly what happened in this chrome-steepled land. The world of Caves of Qud is dangerous and deadly, and surviving longer than a few days is rare. But those who do, and overcome the difficulties that the world presents, a rich history, an exciting adventure, and riches beyond their wildest dreams await. And perhaps some interesting magics and science equipment can be found. And maybe we'll transcend humanity altogether and become something of a sultan ourselves. Enough talk. Let's join Havvik as we step through the gates into the Caves of Qud, and let's play. On the 23rd of Uru Ux, you arrive at the oasis hamlet of Joppa, along the far rim of Magra-Yi, the Great Salt Desert. All around you, moisture farmers tend to groves of viridian water vine. There are huts wrought from rock salt and brine stock. On the horizon, Qud's jungles strangle chrome steeples and rusted archways to the earth. Further and beyond, the fabled spindle rises above the fray and pierces the cloud-ribboned sky. Welcome, everybody, to Caves of Qud, a game I am excited to play, and one that I have to thank the Hoarder tier for being my little guinea pig for the first episode. Sort of a first episode. A story that unfortunately will not be concluded because the game got updated and the save got wiped. But that's beside the point. We're no longer there. Instead, we are now in front of all of you. And I hope my description of the Caves of Qud has helped you understand the kind of world that we live in, the kind of world that our dear Havvik inhabits. You see, Havvik is a man who has spent his entire life training to rid the world of mutants and mutations and to discover the history of this land, who the 7 sultans were, how they ruled, and what happened to them in the end. Maybe even finding answers to why the world almost ended, at least completely. There is an argument to be made that the world did actually end, in a manner of speaking, and a new world arose in its place, the world we inhabit now. But that's beside the point. For now, Havvik finds himself in a small town out in the middle of nowhere. In fact, if we just go ahead and take a look at the world map, this is the world we all inhabit currently. In the bottom left, you can actually see Havvik on that map. There is where Joppa is, a small little oasis in the middle of a rather large desert area. All those hills over here, all these are desert and mountains. To our west, a sea of salt water. To our west, a sea of salt water laps endlessly onto the shores. And to our east, jungles and ruins of old ancient civilizations and cities. We have ruins and jungles. And off to the east, all of this is what is now known as Chrome Ruins, the area in which once civilization thrived, where we'd find some of the strongest opposition and perhaps some of the most strongest equipment that we could find. Unlike the mutants, Havvik is a man of personal integrity. He seeks to further himself, not with mutations and experimentation, but instead with the tried and true scientific robotics, cybernetics, and he even has night vision installed into his very retina. It'll help us at night. We won't need torches to see. We won't need to hope that there are lights out and about that keep us from being lost in the dark. The night vision that he has installed, his parting gift from his home, that's enough to keep him quiet and hidden. But this is the map, and this map is static in every single playthrough. Nothing changes about this map in this general form. Certain locations can change, but the history is what can change. But that's beside the point. We're getting ahead of ourselves. We'll explore all of this in time, if we survive long enough, of course. For now, Joppa is where we are. We need to take some time to explore. It's an interesting world. Money is fluid in the most literal sense and, of course, in the most figurative sense. You see, water is precious. Most water is salty and undrinkable in every way. But where there's fresh water, there is value. And in Joppa, at the very least, they'd use water as their currency, which is interesting because it means that in our inventory, we have these amounts of water. But since it's currency, it's valuable. but it's water, so it's heavy. And this is immediately going to be something we're going to have to be taking care of and keeping an eye on. It doesn't really matter all that much right now. It's just a unique aspect of how the money works. You can also see we have a few things in our inventory that we can go over. An energy cell, we have a chem cell rather. We have 2 food cubes, which is not great. 21 unburnt torches, which we'll end up selling most of. A steel shield, which is we're a Praetorian. We are, when you picture Havvik here, picture him as kind of this Wild West knight, if that makes sense. He wears steel armor. He has a sword and a shield, but over his back, he also has a rifle, which is always exciting. He also has a love injector, a salve injector, and a Sphinx salt injector. If we can actually take a look at some of these, and we can take a peek at this one. The love injector. You feel unusually amorous for about half a day, during which time you'll fall in love with the first thing you look at. If you inject someone else, they'll fall in love with you and follow you around for 3,000 to 3,600 rounds. There's a 4% failure rate for every level higher they are than you, which is important. Basically, we can have someone fall in love with us for a while. Salve injector, if we decide to take a look at the salve. This is basically healing. You know, we heal ourselves with this. And a Sphinx salt injector. Let's take a look at that. It lasts 18 to 22 rounds. We become immune to confusing attacks. You peer into your near future. You may revert to the point in time at which you first use this drug at the end of its duration. So basically, if we are about to walk into an area where we know there is a lot of enemies or something that is incredibly powerful, we think we have a chance, we can inject ourselves and we can try to fight. And if we fail, we can revert back to that time. It's kind of it truly does kind of give us this vision of this future. Now, whether Havvik would actually use it or not, well, that's something we can decide in the future, because it is kind of a temporary mutation in a lot of ways, and he is very much against that. Here's our actual character sheet. These are all of our stats. We got some bonuses for being a Praetorian. And like I said, we are kind of a medieval, Wild West, post-apocalyptic kind of weird mess of cliches. Here are all of our skills. Now this is exciting too, because this is how we level. When we do level, we'll get skill points, and we'll be able to spend skill points on better things. And if you take a look at how many skills there are, and each one of them has an insane amount of sub-skills inside of them. So if we wanted to, say, pick up tinkering, for instance, we need to spend 100 skill points to get the tinkering skill alone. But as a package deal, we actually do get Gadget Inspector. Costs us nothing. It basically comes with the purchase. We have Tactics and Short Blade and Self-Discipline, Pistol, Persuasion, Heavy Weapon, First Aid, Endurance, Dual Wielding, Customs and Folklore, which is going to be useful for learning, Cudgel, Cooking and Gathering, Axe, Acrobatics, Wayfaring, and I think you get the point. All of these are things we'll kind of explore further. For now, let's see what Joppa's up to. Perhaps there'll be a little bit perhaps they're welcoming people, and most importantly, before we leave, we should resupply. We have base supplies, but if we're going to explore around the world, we're going to need a lot more than that. So let's begin to move. And as we move, you're going to see the townsfolk move as well. If you've never played a true roguelike, this may seem very simple looking to you, but there's a ton of depth, complications, and simulation happening under the hood. The town is kind of going about its thing. They're farming their water. There are people kind of discussing things, and we can actually hit L. And hey, look, it's us. It's you, equipped chainmail, implant night vision, Praetorian's cloak, steel longsword, lit torch, which we have equipped, which we're gonna have to unequip, a desert rifle, and leather boots. We're in a defensive stance currently, which we can change. We can also take a look over here. Mehmet. He is impossible to kill in the current moment. Years of the desert have taken their toll on his body, but he commands your ear with his voice like few other men, and you wonder what sovereignty he might have come to were he not born a moisture farmer. And we can actually take a quick look at his history so far. We know that he's loved by this village. He's disliked by the mechanimists for leading a raiding party on one of their camps. So at some point, perhaps Joppa was being besieged by mechanimists. Mechanimists, I guess is how you pronounce that. I imagine they're people who create robots and lead them and control them, and he led them out to a group to destroy them. Now he's disliked by them for that, but you know, it is what it is. He's also hated by the villagers of Amrod for selling a map of their vaults to adventurers. So at some point in this game's generated history, Mehmet sold off a map of the vaults that Amrod has, all of their useful stuff, to some adventurers, and doing that made them hate him. He's also disliked by birds for lighting a beacon fire to warn their enemies, which is interesting. Furthermore, he's got a woven tunic, a slender steel vine reaper, and sandals. Nothing exciting. And then we've got a bunch of water vine farmers. They all kind of look the same. The tatters of a sweat-stained chefia thrash in the wind from where they hang about the farmer's neck. Clasped in his gnarled brown hand is a curved vine reaper of iron, with which he culls moisture-swollen wafers from the viridian plant called water vine. Exciting stuff. And then way over here we have a dromad merchant, Tam, a stoic, long-necked man-camel. This trader belongs to the race of mercantile desert rovers who men called dromad. Interesting, a man-camel, long-necked. Up here, Warden Ulreg. Big Ulreg shifts his weight between his hind and forelegs. He shakes dander off the chipped surface of the great curling horns that splay from his temples, so he has giant horns coming out of his head, almost like a minotaur. One hand holds a purring blade, the other, lame and frostbitten, reminds us that while Mother Nature may bestow splendid gifts upon his children, he is still sister to cruelty. Loved by the Fellowship of Wardens, admired by the villagers of Joppa for defending their village, and he's got some interesting equipment. Now, when you start a game, Joppa is kind of the beginner town. A lot of these characters are static and have very similar, or are always the same, though their histories may shift, but there's plenty of options to start in random towns around this world. If you're more, I guess, you're kind of a veteran, I guess, of this type of game. And then, up here, we have an interesting looking cat. One star-ribboned night, a ray cat crossed the marshy loam and wandered into Joppa. The watervine farmers, weakened by the joyful cries of a small girl, gathered around to revel at the favorable omen and extol the generosity of the beetle moon. Since then, Stesiphus has spent his days curled under the shade of brinestalk huts and sauntering over dirt paths. So long as he's approached with care, he welcomes the hands of friends and strangers alike. There's a cat that seemed to have wandered into this town during a time where there were joyful cries of a small girl. I don't know, maybe perhaps a small girl saw the cat and got overly excited about it, and everybody's like, well, we can't get rid of the cat now. This girl loves this cat. Let's talk to some of these people. We're also going to go ahead and explore. So let's look around at each of these houses. Interesting. Immediately, we find something interesting. A chest that is not being guarded. So if we just go ahead and take a look at this chest, we can actually pop it open. And it's got fine wafers, 3 of them, and a cracked lens. We're going to take all of it. First of all, nobody even knows that we're here. And we're going to need all of the supplies we can get while we can get them. Let's go ahead and keep our HUD open. Now, if we actually take a look, there's nothing here. Yep, we don't want to store an item, so we'll leave. Okay, let's keep looking around. There's plenty of us to look for. I don't know if there's anything in these. Nothing in that basket. Actually, we can just look. It's a basket woven from marsh reed. Nothing in this basket either. Close the door. There goes the cat. It's wandering around. Perhaps we can interact with it at some point. Another chest. Let's see what we've got. An engraved woven tunic and 4 copper nuggets. Let's take all of that. We'll definitely take a look at the engraved woven tunic soon. And there's the cat. Can we pet the cat? You start to glow. Stesiphus meows. So we're glowing now. So we're kind of emitting light. Perhaps petting the cat grants us temporary light. Another chest here. Vine wafers, bent metal sheets. Yep, we're gonna take it all. We're a little bit thieving, but they harbor in their town a mutant, somebody with large horns, and even a camel person. Something that we're gonna want. Now, this shrine we're gonna look at as well. And what's interesting about these shrines is, as I said in the beginning, the histories are randomly generated as you play this game. So every time you play, the sultans, what they did, the powers that are associated with them, the artifacts and weapons they crafted for themselves, even how they died and lived, is different. And the only way you can learn is by exploring the world and finding bits and pieces that might elaborate on their history a little bit. And then in your journal that the game will provide for you, you can start piecing together how these sultans lived. So if we go over here, this shrine is a shrine to Oyudukt the Fifth, Hourglass in Ivory. Let's take a look. Shrine to Oyudukt the Fifth, Hourglass in Ivory. The shrine depicts a significant event from the life of the ancient Sultan Oyudukt V. Deep in the wilds of Kar, Oyudukt V discovered Tebimis Morass. There, he befriended apes and penned a historical account. So we do know now that at some point in his life, he went to the Tebimis Morass, and he kind of came together with some of the monkeys, or the apes rather, out there, and maybe whatever the historical account he penned, maybe it's his time there, or maybe it was his journey there. Perhaps it's there. So now we can actually see we discovered the location of Kar. You note the location of Kar in the location historic sites section of your journal. You received a new quest. We can actually go visit there. And we actually got a little bit of the Sultan's history in our journal as well. Let's go ahead and pray to it. We could also desecrate it, but let's just pray. You voice in short prayer beneath the shrine to Oyudukt V, Hourglass in Ivory. And that's it. We prayed to it a little bit, didn't seem to do anything. But the exciting thing, if we go into the map very quickly, we now have, let's see. Oh, I traveled. I didn't mean to travel. I meant to look. Okay, so we can actually look around and see. And there it is. Deep within the earth cleft and under the labyrinthine shade, here stretches the ancient district where a labyrinth of pipes ferried the chattel of eaters. That's where we can go, and that's on the map now. That wasn't there in my last playthrough, which was always exciting. Let's go back into town. What happened? So when you travel, I accidentally went a panel over and then came back. I think that's maybe my night vision? What the hell happened? It's possibly my night vision, but when you travel, days pass. So what was once the 21st, we're now the 23rd. We spent the day traveling a little bit and coming back, which is kind of unfortunate, but what? Okay, it is my night vision, it's just dark. So it's green because my night vision is giving me vision in the darkness. It might just be late right now. Waxing beetle moon, we have a desert rifle. Okay, let's keep exploring. Let's actually discuss, let's have a conversation with this guy. Live and drink, friend. May you find shade in Joppa. So we have a few options. We can actually ask him about Joppa, and we probably should. So what can you tell me about this place? You would be wise to speak with Elder Irudad. Look for his hut to the north. I am in search of work. Perhaps you have some? Some critters are eating our water vine. Farouk claims he saw one slinking around a vine patch. Ugly little thing. He says pale, white, 8 legs and ear-splitting wide. I noticed a bit of red dirt in the water vine pool, the same we find in the soil at a nearby cave to the north we call Red Rock. Travel to Red Rock and kill as many of those critters as you can. Bring back the corpse of one too. Elder Irodad will reward you for your efforts. So they offered us a quest, something we can do in payment. And honestly, we've spent so much time traveling here and we're low on supplies. Any bit of money we can get, any bit of supplies we can get by doing just simple little tasks for this small little village, we might as well. It's not too far and we can enjoy this haven in the middle of a desert in the meantime. So we'll go ahead and accept that quest and we'll keep looking around. I don't know what's going on over here. He's lying on a bedroll. He's sleeping. I think it's getting late, so everybody's going to bed now. Yeah, everybody's going to bed. Let them sleep. Can I talk to you, sir? Ain't they wishin' the hot keep pumping. Move along if they do. Don't know what that means, but that's fine. So you might notice we actually have a couple of options here. Everybody can trade if you hit the tab button, but there's another option that we can do. It says, your thirst is mine, my water is yours. This is known as the water ritual. Now, as I said in the beginning, and I know there's a lot of kind of exposition in this episode, but just so you understand the world that we inhabit, water is precious. It's money, but it's also obviously needed to survive. And since it's so rare, we can actually do something called the water ritual. We literally just give them a dram, which is a measurement in this world, of our water. And in turn, they'll like us more. So it's basically saying, here, we trust you, we like you, we want to be friends with you. Take some of my water, friend, drink from it, for it is yours. And in turn, we'll gain some reputation for them. That's the mechanic. We can actually take a look at what everybody has to trade. And he has a glow sphere, which is something that's kind of cool, but we don't really need, and canned mystery meat, which we also don't need. So we'll just say goodbye. We don't even say live and drink, friend. We just kind of walk away. Now, here's the village elder. Dark in here, but that's all right. Let's actually speak with him. No, I don't want to attack him. No, I don't want to. What? No, I don't want to attack him. There we go. I don't know, maybe he was just backed up against the wall or something. Live and drink, wayfarer. Welcome to the oasis of Joppa. Here you will find shade and victual, along with other provisions to help you better scour the rust caves for treasure. Above all else, you may drink of our fresh water and quench your thirsts. Well, what can you tell me about Joppa, since you are the elder? Joppa is an oasis hamlet nestled between the eastern reaches of the Great Salt Pans and the jungles of Qud. We are a community of water vine farmers. These groves lie along some of the few tracts of land tame enough to grow water vine. And what can you tell me of Qud? Qud is a strange and terrifying mesa to the northeast. Her tainted rivers breed life in all its motley forms. Her poisoned jungles shelter priceless relics of a forgotten past. But that is just the half of it, for Qud's most precious treasures and her most hideous children lie within the innumerable chrome caverns beneath the scarlet loam. To ply those silver hollows, a spry adventurer's dream. The years have wizened me beyond such foolish ambitions, but you, be not deterred so. Why, thanks, elder. Live and drink, friend. So, we learned a little bit there. I don't know if there's any more we can get from him. We could trade. Let's see what he has. Illuminated, beat the mountain. Can we just look at this? Beat the mountains into shape when unabridged. Okay, it's a book. Books are also kind of procedurally generated. All books are different on your playthroughs. An unadorned codex of goatskin vellum. Illuminated. This book is adorned with decorative marginalia and illustrations. It's worth 30% more. So he's just got something that's very valuable. And he's got a publicly named an heir. Which is another book, it seems. Nothing super useful. My thanks, elder. Live and drink, friend. Nothing more that I care about here. Whoa, 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 whoa. Sorry, there's a button that, There's a button that auto-explores the map you're on. I don't like doing that because it feels like it takes away a lot of the exploration for me. But there's more. There's more obviously around. Nothing exciting in these, just some farmers sleeping. And then over here, we can actually hear some noise happening over here. And there is somebody, it's seemingly working on something. Let's take a look. Mumbling. Tensile strength of Reblon, but lacking in dino electricity. Retro threading the M-band would probably... sorry, I didn't notice you there. It's because I was ignoring you. Noting a trace yield of synthetic linseed solvent. Basically, he's working on something and ignoring us. We'll just say hello. Or just stand there and see what he says. Unexpected deviation from the clan constant. Must you disturb me? What are you, some sort of treasure hunter? At the very least, make yourself useful and bring me a knick-knack from one of the caves. I may reward you. Where can I find such a cave? There are caves everywhere, you dolt. This is good. Try the rust wells, just east of here. I will return with your knick-knack. All right, fetch Argive a knick-knack. And we finished the quest, fetch Argive a knick-knack. That might be because we actually have this. We looted this and he wouldn't know, so we could just hand it to him and be like, we were already at the caves, this is what we found. I'm actually curious about this engraved tunic really quickly. I want to look at it. This simple tunic is woven of stiff plant fiber. It's surprisingly comfortable. Engraved. This item is engraved at the scene from the life of the ancient Sultan Oyeduk I. While on a trek in Alid, Oyeduk lost control of his chariot and drove it off a cliff. He was killed at 17 years old. Oh wow, he did not live long. And we actually got plus 50 reputation with this will give us plus 50 reputation with the cult of Oyeduk. Now we know that there's a cult, and the very first Oyeduk did not live long. 17 years old is quite young, and he drove it off of a cliff accidentally, and that's how he ended up dying. we actually learned about the Sultan Oyeduk the First. Interesting. We'll keep it for now. I don't know if we actually have this. We have something better equipped. So we know that it gives us 1 armor and 2 to our reflexes, perhaps. So we actually can take a look. Chainmail is straight up 3 armor, where this gives us 2 and then 1. This gives us 3 and -1. The Praetorian cloak that we have, which is really cool looking, I think. It's a decorated cloak of a Boolean Praetorian, but I just like the image in my head is really neat, and Havvik looks really cool with it on. Gives us 2 of that, I believe is dodging, but I'll have to double check. Our right arm, we have nothing, but we're wielding our longsword in our right hand. And in fact, what I'm gonna do is actually change the left hand to remove it. And then we're gonna go ahead and equip the steel shield in our left hand instead, which actually does hinder us quite a bit. And our right missile weapon is our desert rifle, which is kind of slung over our right shoulder for now. We have nothing else that we can equip armor-wise anywhere else, but if we ever come across it, we will. So we could lose 2 armor, but gain 2. I think we're gonna wear it. I think we're gonna go ahead and equip it. Hopefully it doesn't do much. So there we go. Now we're wearing it and that instead. All right, well, thanks so much. We're gonna go ahead and buy some things. Ooh, what is that? Glowfish, luminescent flicks flint beneath the water. Interesting. All right, Camel Man, let's have a conversation. What kind of creature are you? I am a dromad human, a salt strider. I desire nothing. Yeah, Havvik's not happy. But let's go ahead and trade with him because we need to. So let's buy some food. Let's sell, first of all of the torches that we do not need. Let's go ahead and sell. Let's keep like 2 or 3 of them, not many. So 1, 2, 3. Let's keep 3. And then on his end, let's see what was worth buying. He has a steel helmet, which could be good. We have nothing on our head, but it's quite expensive. A few weird artifacts. I think I'm going to take all of his vine wafers and all of his star apples for some food. We have plenty of water for now. He has a lot of weapons that are just very expensive. But right now, I think what I want is just to... Does he have ammo? Yes, let's go ahead and take some lead slugs, because we don't get many to start. So let's just go ahead and take some lead slugs. He has, how many? 69 of them? Let's go ahead and just fill up. Let's go ahead and just have like a nice even trade if we can. That's good enough. We'll take 31 slugs for now. And we'll say, we'll go ahead and offer that to him. We will actually have to pony up a dram of water, but I'm okay with that. Let's say yes. Trade complete. And now we're kind of prepped to leave. We have some goals to take care of and things to explore. I desire nothing. I like how we can't even say live and drink friend to him. I don't know if that's just because of who we are. But now we're gonna start heading out of here. Just want to make sure we've seen everything. Actually, let's go north a little bit. Let's see if there's anything else over here to the north. I've never really explored. Yeah, they've got more farm. A lot of salty water, which we can't really do much with. Vine farmer, and it looks like a giant dragonfly, which is neutral. It's not attacking anybody. A big diaphanous wings bat the air as it drones in place, just hovering around. And then it looks like a small graveyard over here with a gate keeping here. I've actually never gone in here. Let's actually take a look. Here lies Moror Iruba, swallowed by a weird artifact. Oh, that's really unfortunate. Faramet, cooked for sustenance by bears. Well, these are unfortunate deaths for everybody. In memory of Ticket, immolated by a symbiotic firefly. Also unfortunate way to go. Knocked over a normality gas grenade Mark II. These are all such sad deaths. They accidentally killed themselves with technology they probably don't fully understand. Died of unknown causes. Fair. Mayuk knocked over a weird artifact. Typical way to go around here, it seems. Killed in a duel over some raw frog meat. So again, starvation is something everybody is concerned with here. And then just an empty room, perhaps a morgue that is to be filled. Nothing more out here, it seems. And then further north, yikes, what is all this? hostile, average, snapjaw scavenger. Tussocks of fur dressed skin stretched over taut muscle. Ugh. Upright he stands, but he looks ready to drop onto fours. His snout snarls and his ears twitch. He barks and his hyena tribesmen answer. Swarmer. This creature receives +1 to its hit and penetration rolls for each other swarmer beyond the first who is adjacent to its target. So the more of them there are, the more difficult they become. He's hostile. He's average difficulty, but that means nothing to me when there's just so many of them. We have 4 to our left. No, we have 4, 5, 6 to our left. And then a snapjaw hunter to our right. Oh, there's just so many here. Look at how many there are. I think we just get the hell out. Let's go. Hopefully they don't follow. They do. Just the one follows. Perhaps it was because it was at night. So one caught us in the darkness. One saw us. And Havvik, quickly seeing that he's outnumbered, though he'd love to kill them all, though he draws his blade slowly and begins to slowly back up. One seems to have at least decided to engage, so we're going to let him come to us. And combat is quite simple here. On our left, you can see our health. We're under-quenched, but we're hungry. And we're going to go ahead and hit this, and then we basically just move in the direction of the creature. He has an iron mace, furs, and a bite. We're going to take a swing. And on the left, you can see how combat plays out. We hit twice for 10 damage with our steel longsword. The steel snapjaw scavenger immediately dies. Havvik is well trained, and he just sliced it down his chest, blood pouring forth, and this scavenger fell apart instantaneously. We gained 10 experience from such a thing, which is great. Actually, I'm going to go eat a wafer real quick. Let's go ahead and eat it, just so we're not hungry. We're quenched. Because if we get hungry, we start having penalties. So, there is nothing there. So we have snapjaw corpse, furs, and an iron mace. Why don't we go ahead and take the furs and the iron mace. The corpse we don't really need. I think we can maybe see if we can do something to help them out more, if there's more up here that are willing to fight. It looks like they're, oh my god, there's one that's white up there. A snapjaw warrior. It actually seems like they're really busy fighting other things. Perhaps just looking for food of any sort. There's a few corpses, probably fish corpses. No one's really hurt in any way. Oh, he just took a wild shot at me. The snapjaw scavenger died. I don't know what happened. Oh, I think we're getting shot at. So I'm gonna pop down here. Let's see if anybody follows. Oop, yep. He's just taking wild shots. I'm gonna wait. I'm gonna wait for him because he's gonna have to get vision on us. So Havvik quickly dips below and takes cover behind the graveyard fence. The water farmer just panicking, hiding, hopefully. Let's see if he's actually doing anything. Yeah, he's just hiding in the walls. Probably hears something happening. Okay, and there he is. We come face to face. We slap him. He immediately died. We hit him 4 times for 20 damage, and he just exploded in gore. An unfortunate situation for him, but great for us. We'll take the iron dagger. We'll take the mace. We'll take the short bow, and we'll say thank you very much. If we take a look at our inventory, we're still well under our carrying capacity. And this initial little onslaught of snapjaw scavengers, whatever type of creature they are, is going incredibly well. Okay, he sees us, which is good. There's actually a campfire over there, so let's be smart. Oh, he actually just got. He failed to penetrate our armor, though. Now we wait. He sees the corpse of 2 of his brethren, determined not to become one of them. He charges us, hoping that maybe we won't be waiting around the corner here, but unfortunately for him, that is not how it goes. Another one down. A 2-handed sword. We'll take it. We can sell all of this stuff. We auto picked up a weird artifact as well. I'm really mostly concerned with the warrior, I'd love to go one-on-one with him if possible. Okay, this guy's coming at us. The ones in the water don't seem to care all that much. He approaches and we'll just swing at him. Ooh, this one did not. We miss. The Snapjaw also misses and we shield block. So he actually missed us with an attack and then we threw up our shield and we can hear the scraping of his claws against our metallic shield as we deflect it and wheel around for yet another attack. And then we kill it. Okay, one is making its way out of the water. Back up. They're all making their way out of the water. So we want to kill them before they become adjacent to one another. Another one down. Havvik is an absolute monster to these creatures. They're likely very, very weak. It's... What in the hell is that? Oh, the campfire caught... the campfire ended up setting on fire a brine stalk. Interesting. And that's all smoke. Coming out. Wait, why is it on... The campfire's up. Not quite there. Another one down. We hit it twice for 9. And now the big guy. We swing. We hit 3 times for 10 damage, though he's still alive. He misses us. He's not nearly as well trained. They are just beasts with armor, nothing more. A flick of intelligence behind their eyes and nothing else. Another attack. This time we hit for 9. And this one hits us for 2 with his bronze mace. Little does he know. That does very little to us. Another swing. We hit for 4. 9 more damage and he collapses into a heap of nothingness. Their leader, perhaps. We still have another one over here, hearing the sounds of combat. Decides to explore and sees nothing but blood and ruin in his wake. And there he is. The flaming brine stalk is destroyed, but so is he. All right, that went super well. Warren Burnous, I'll take it for now. Again, all of this stuff we can actually use, or at least sell. Maybe we'll keep some of it, but for now, that was actually a lot easier than I was expecting it to. A bloody bronze battle axe. Bloody furs we'll take. Bronze mace. A wooden buckler. Well, we have too much. We cannot move. We are just over encumbered a bit. I don't know if bloody furs are worth as much. They're all the same amount. The chainmail's so heavy, I didn't realize. I'll drop the bloody furs for now. We should be able to move with that. Let's actually explore this and see if we've cleaned everything out. Oh, there's so many more. We've gotten the attention of a couple. The others don't seem to notice. Kill him. Bronze longsword, leather moccasins. Do we have armor? Well, it doesn't provide anything, so I'm gonna leave it. It looks like the warrior is gone, and they're just kind of doing camp things. Let's see if we can manage. Nah, they're gonna be, I don't want them to be adjacent to one another. One down. Ooh, we missed and they missed. And then it dies. Okay, easy enough. I think we're good enough to show up here. Let's see, another dead one. So many dead of so many of them are just dead. Whatever they were fighting, perhaps they were fighting each other. Maybe there was multiple different ones. Ow. Kill him. Okay, we need to... Oof. Let him come to us, if we can. I'm just trying to block vision. There he is. So he can come to us, so we can just get a free attack on him. There it is. Easy enough. Tactics. That's all what it's about. Oh, masterwork. Okay, we have to take that. A masterwork. I have not seen a masterwork anything in this game. We'll get that. We'll actually take the arrows. As well. And then over here, you have more things fighting. Kindle-thumbed glow pad. Equipped with ghostly flames. Okay. I think we're good. I'm excited about how that all went down. But let's head back now. The town is going to be a little safer than it once was. And I'm quite happy about that. Let's go sell some things off. Hello, who are you? Wanderer, often of the salt, hear me. To the north and the west, through the great salt desert, the 6-day stilt splits the earth in two. Seek there the grandeur of Shekinah, first among fathers. Release yourself from the burden that Chrome bears on your sickly flesh. Go now! I don't know if I agree with that. Hold your tongue, soothsayer. The salt pools in blood beneath the feet of those who dare command me. I guess that is that. Well, we can actually accept it. We might as well accept it, but let's ask him what waits for him there. Deliverance waits for all pilgrims. At the site, you will find the cathedral, magnificent in its splendor. There are statues erected in honor of the Argent Fathers. There are sublime reliefs depicting our most cherished occasions. Here, too, the wisdom of Esclistadat II, our highest priest, and make a donation at the sacred well. Worship at the light sculpture of Shekinah himself. You will find other pilgrims among the merchant tents at the Stilt Grounds Bazaar, other converts and priests. You will be among friends. We'll take it. Just because it'll mark something on our map, whether we'll do anything there that he'll agree with, is another matter altogether. Could you please move? Thank you. Okay, let's trade with you, and let's start selling off some of the garbage that we just picked up. One of the leather boots. This leather, one of the leather armors, leather boots, bronze dagger, bronze mace, bronze short sword, bronze two-handed sword. Not gonna keep any of these. 2 more maces here. I'll keep the ironwork bronze dagger and one of the iron maces. Bent metal sheets, I'm not entirely sure how useful they'll be, but for now, they're under scrap. I don't know if that'll ever be useful. Wooden buckler we'll sell off. We'll get rid of 2 more of these torches. The furs sell for a decent amount, so I'll sell them for now. The worn burnoose I'm gonna hang on to just because I want to look at it after. Let's go ahead and sell it. He's gonna have to pony up 17 drams of fresh water. We'll say yes. And now if we want to buy anything here, we probably could. And so, the first small little combat has been taken care of. I think for now, this is a great introduction to how this game plays. And next episode, our dear friend begins to make his way just to the north, where Red Rock waits. This is where those creatures supposedly are, and perhaps a knick-knack we can get for our dear friend. Till then, Havvik will have to rest in Joppa, where those who farm water and plants tend to him and welcome him. He did just keep them safe after all.